Hello, my name is Maria Gλάβα, and I'm an EFL teacher at the Junior High School of Vουργαρελίου, Άρτα. The aim of this presentation is to describe a needs analysis questionnaire which was developed and administered to a group of first grade junior high school students in the year 2019-2020 and which can serve as a framework of reference for EFL practitioners, aiding them in accommodating their students' needs and learning styles in syllabus and materials design. Needs analysis emerged in the early 70s as part of curriculum and syllabus design amidst a shift in teaching methodologies towards a more learner-centered approach to foreign language teaching. The term needs analysis refers to the procedures used to collect information about learners' needs and was first implemented in English for specific purposes courses. Soon, however, it was adopted by general English courses designers with a view to make foreign language teaching more relevant to learners' needs, and consequently more effective, by identifying and addressing those needs within a curriculum and syllabus. One of the most common ways to conduct needs analysis is by a needs analysis questionnaire. The first step for conducting a needs analysis is to define the target group. As regards classroom profile, the needs analysis questionnaire was administered in the beginning of the 2019-2020 school year to the first grade students of the Junior High School of Vουργαρελίου, Άρτα. There are 11 students, 7 male and 4 female in this class. The class is homogeneous in terms of age and L1. All students speak Greek as their mother tongue, while slight variations in terms of L2 competence arise. These variations occur due to the fact that although all students graduated from one teacher's state primary schools where English was not part of the syllabus as a subject, some of them received private tuition. Thus, the general L2 competence level of the students can be described as A1 according to the common reference levels of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. The course book distributed by the Greek Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs to first grade A1 level students is a Think Teen first grade of junior high school Archari. The course book, according to the authors in the introduction section of the teacher's book, follows the current methodological and pedagogical principles of literacy, plurilingualism and pluriculturalism as set by the CEFR and the cross-curricular unified framework. It has 3 components: the student's book, the workbook and the teacher's book. The student's book consists of 9 units covering a range of themes such as daily routines, professions, environment, sports, musical instruments, school, food, clothing, and traveling. The questionnaire was created with the Google Forms application and was administered online in the school computer lab. A brief introduction was included in the questionnaire, informing the students of its purpose, guaranteeing anonymity, and assuring the students that it would not affect their grades in any way. The questionnaire consisted of 6 parts and contained a total of 15 questions. The greater proportion of closed questions with pre-coded answers versus open-ended questions renders it a structured questionnaire. Besides closed and open-ended questions, a variety of question types were employed. There were single response questions, multiple responses questions, yes/no questions, a 5-point Likert type scale question, and ranking questions. Question formats were varied with a view to make the questionnaire more engaging for the respondent and also to decrease the chances of respondent anticipation. The students' low L2 competence rendered it necessary that the language medium of the questionnaire should be Greek, so that no uncertainties would arise among them regarding the questions asked. However, in cases where pictures could be employed to clarify meaning, the questions were provided in English. As regards its content, various sources of questions were consulted for the construction of the questionnaire. Furthermore, separate questions asking the same thing were included in various sections of the questionnaire for reliability checks. For example, one question was, do you find it useful to cooperate with your classmates on a project? And another one was, I prefer classroom activities which require working on my own. The questions aimed to explore the learner's objective and subjective needs, as these were defined by Brindley within the communicative language teaching framework. In light of Brindley's definition, objective needs are seen as referring to the content of instruction, whereas subjective needs relate to the process of learning. Objective needs were addressed in the third part of the questionnaire, where a multiple responses question was used as a means to identify the learner's real-world communicative requirements. The question was, I learn English so that I can provide tourists with directions, I can talk about everyday life with somebody from another country, I can use my computer for gaming and internet, I can travel abroad, I can find a nice job, and so on. In addition, a question attempting to highlight which aspects of the receptive and productive skills students face the most difficulties in was also included in the needs identification section of the questionnaire. The question was, I have difficulty in pronunciation, in speaking, in listening comprehension, in reading comprehension, in writing, in new vocabulary, in spelling, and in grammar. The students' subjective needs were explored in the second, fourth, fifth, and sixth part of the questionnaire. In part 2, a question concerning attitudes towards English language learning was set to explore the students' beliefs about language learning, their social context, as well as their integrative and instrumental motivation as these were defined by Gardner. Furthermore, an open-ended question asked students to elaborate on their use of language learning strategies, since these seem to affect both their language learning proficiency and self-confidence. Finally, a couple of questions focused on exploring the students' learning style preferences, especially those of the perceptual and cognitive type, according to the distinction made by Weaver and Cohen. And the questionnaire concluded with a question investigating the most popular topics among students. The analysis of the students' responses to the needs analysis questionnaire produced some interesting results. First of all, a close examination of the students' responses reveals aspects of the informal or hidden curriculum that might interfere with implementation of the official curriculum. The term informal curriculum refers to the teachers, parents, and students' hidden agendas that affect the students' attitudes and motivation and influence the learning outcome. In this line, the positive responses to the question exploring the attitudes of the students' social background towards English language learning might have a negative impact on their motivation. Additionally, although instrumental motivation appears to be a significant factor influencing the students' attitudes towards the English language, acquiring a language certificate or finding a better job is not deemed as important by the students as using English in social interaction settings, more specifically learning English to travel abroad. With reference to the question exploring which aspects of the target language the students find the most challenging, the majority of the students, 73%, identified spelling as the aspect they face difficulties in. Subsequently, taking notes and learning the vocabulary by heart by repeating the words over and over again were the two most common learning strategies the students employed to acquire new vocabulary. The questions pertaining to the students' favorite activity types and their learning styles received rather homogeneous responses. Thus, field-dependent activities such as group and pair work were favored by the majority of the students, 82%, while the auditory-visual learning style was found to be the most popular one among students, 91%. Similarly, responses to the question on favorite topics exhibited a striking similarity of opinion among students. Topics on food, music, technology, and especially sports proved to be of interest to all of the students, while topics on movies, family, animals, traveling, and hobbies were popular among a large proportion of the student population. In conclusion, it could be stated that the needs analysis questionnaire administered to the A1 level students of the Junior High School of Vουργαρελίου produced interesting results as regards the identification of key issues that affect the students' learning process. The results of the questionnaire subsequently provided a general framework for the design of tasks geared towards enhancing the students' feelings of competence and control during the learning process, which in turn aimed at fostering the students' intrinsic motivation, which appears to have a positive effect on language learning. In more practical terms, this was achieved by addressing the students' areas of difficulty in language learning, by practicing learning strategies techniques in the classroom, by accommodating the students' learning styles through varied activities, and by selecting topics of interest to them. Thank you for watching this video presentation.